So, if all languages must have those five pieces, phonology, morphology, semantics, syntax, and pragmatics, visual languages as well must have those parts. And in ASL, we definitely have all five of those characteristics that make it a full-fledged language. So phonology, that has to do with how things move in space, the individual pieces. So this doesn't necessarily hold any meaning, but it represents the smallest unit available in ASL without meaning. These aren't letters, they're hand shapes. We can also look at my position. This area up here holds phonology. This area down here holds phonology. So there's some phonology in ASL that's actually invisible. But all of this space, movement, that's a phoneme. Until I add it to something else, it may become a morpheme. Now, speaking of morphemes, we have ways of adding movement typically that allows us to build our morphemes. So, for example, week, every week, year, every year. Semantics means the meaning of things. And because we're dealing with a language that is conceptually accurate in its form and usage, then if we take the simple word run, we cannot use run as in a runny nose and apply the sign to run with your feet to your nose. Unless your nose is literally taken off from your face and is run across the room. That's what that means. So a run in your stocking, running for President of the United States, running to the store, running down the street, a runny nose, your car running, those are all signed in different ways because they're all distinct concepts. Syntax. Syntax is interesting in ASL. ASL is one of those languages, like a few others out there, that actually have fluidity in their syntactic structure. So while there is an aspect of ASL that is SVO, just as English typically abides by, there are other ways, and one of the predominant ways in ASL to set up a sentence is OSV instead. The rule about syntax in ASL in reality is you follow SVO word order unless you run into a place where it doesn't fit with space, because space and congruity within the use of space is more important than the word order. So if I was to say, go and park the car next to the tree, I could never sign that would be signed English, and it doesn't even make sense in ASL. Visually, I would have to set up my tree first. And that would be a cohesive sentence in American Sign Language.